Welcome back, everyone, to Nation of Glory, the home of stories that inspire, captivate, and remind us why we fall in love with greatness. Today, we're diving deep into the incredible journey of one of football's most elegant artists. A man whose touch could silence entire stadiums and whose calmness could melt the chaos of the game. This is the emotional and powerful story of Zinedine Zidane, or as the world lovingly calls him, Zizou. Born on June 23, 1972, in the small town of La Castellane, Marseille, Zidane grew up far from the bright lights of fame. His parents, Smail and Malika Zidane, were Algerian immigrants who came to France looking for a better life. Life wasn't easy. The family lived in a cramped apartment, surrounded by poverty and challenges that could have easily broken a weaker spirit. But young Zinedine found peace, passion, and purpose in one simple thing: of football. Every day, after school, he would rush to the local square, a place surrounded by apartment blocks, concrete walls, and the laughter of other kids chasing the same dream. The ball wasn't just a toy for Zidane, it was his escape, his friend, his teacher. That square became his first stadium, those walls became his first defenders, and every bounce of the ball was a rhythm that shaped the legend he would one day become. Zidane's love for the game didn't go unnoticed. His footwork was magical even as a child, smooth, instinctive, and full of creativity. He wasn't the loudest or the biggest kid around, but when the ball reached his feet, everyone stopped. It was as if the world slowed down, and time bent around his control. That's how gifted he was. Even before fame found him, talent had already chosen him. At the age of 14, he joined the local club as cans. For a kid from a struggling immigrant family, that was a dream. But even there, life tested him. Coaches often criticized his temper and his emotions. Zidane, quiet and humble by nature, sometimes couldn't handle insults, especially those targeting his heritage. But what's remarkable is how he turned that fire into focus. He learned to use his emotions not as weakness, but as strength, a lesson that would define his entire career. By 17, he had made his professional debut. That same year, he scored his first goal in France's top division. It was the moment he realized that football wasn't just a game, it was his destiny. Zidane's rise was steady and graceful. After Cannes, he moved to Bordeaux, where his brilliance began to shine on a bigger stage. His passing, his balance, his control, everything about his game had a poetic beauty. And soon, Europe began to notice. In 1996, the Italian giants Juventus came calling. It was a turning point. Playing in Serie A, the toughest league at the time, Zidane found himself surrounded by legends. At first, he struggled. Italian defenders were rough, and the tactics were strict. But as always, Zidane adapted. His intelligence, both on and off the ball, set him apart. In his very first season, he helped Juventus win the Serie A title and reach the UEFA Champions League final. He was becoming more than a player, he was becoming a symbol of art in football. You couldn't take your eyes off him. The way he dribbled past opponents, the way he saw spaces that didn't exist, it was pure magic. Fans began to realize they weren't just watching an athlete. They were watching an artist paint his masterpiece, one touch at a time. But Zidane's story wasn't just about club success. It was also about national pride. In 1998, France hosted the FIFA World Cup, a nation filled with hope, but also uncertainty. The country needed something to unite it, and that something was Zinedine Zidane. With his calmness, leadership, and genius, he became the heart of the French team. And on that unforgettable night of July 12, 1998, under the glowing lights of the Stade de France, Zidane rose to immortality. France faced Brazil, the mighty giants of football. The pressure was unimaginable. But Zidane, as always, was calm. Two perfect headers from him in the first half stunned the world. Each goal was more than a point on the scoreboard, it was a moment of pride for every French citizen, especially for the immigrants who finally saw one of their own, leading France to glory. When the final whistle blew, France had won its first ever World Cup. Zidane, the boy from the streets of Marseille, was now the hero of an entire nation. He had done what no one thought possible: he had united France through football. Streets across the country erupted in joy. Children chanted his name. Zizou, 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 echoed across cities and towns. For millions, he wasn't just a player, he was hope. But like every great story, Zidane's journey wasn't without heartbreak. After reaching the top of the world, he continued to give everything to his sport. In 2001, he joined Real Madrid for a then-record fee of over $75 million. The world's most expensive player now wore the white jersey of one of the most historic clubs in football. At Madrid, Zidane became part of the famous Galacticos, a team of stars like Figo, Ronaldo, and Beckham. But even among stars, Zidane's light shined the brightest. His touch, his elegance, his humility, they all made him different. And then came one of the most iconic moments in football history, the 2002 UEFA Champions League final against Bayer Leverkusen. It was a night no one will ever forget. The ball floated high into the sky, descending towards Zidane at the edge of the box. In one graceful motion, he struck it with his left foot, a volley so perfect, so beautiful, it seemed crafted by the gods themselves. The ball soared into the top corner, and time seemed to stand still. That goal didn't just win Madrid the Champions League. It defined what football could be: art, emotion, and perfection all in one. Even those who didn't support Madrid applauded that goal. Because in that moment, Zidane reminded the world that football isn't just a sport, it's a story told through magic. But Zidane's greatest strength wasn't just what he did with the ball. It was who he was off it. Despite all the fame, all the trophies, he remained quiet, respectful, and deeply grounded. He never chased the spotlight, it found him. And when it did, he carried it with humility and grace. However, fate had one last twist waiting for him. The year was 2006. Zidane had retired from international football, but France begged him to return for one last World Cup. He agreed. And what followed was one of the most emotional runs in football history. Zidane, at 34, played like a man reborn. Against Spain, Brazil, and Portugal, he delivered performances that reminded everyone why he was special. And then came the final, France versus Italy. The world watched in anticipation. Zidane scored a Panenka penalty, calmly chipping the ball over the goalkeeper in one of the boldest moves imaginable. But then, the unthinkable happened. Late in the match, an Italian player insulted him, saying words that cut deep. Zidane, usually calm, lost control for 1 second and delivered a headbutt that shocked the world. It was his final game. His final moment. And he walked off, head held high, into the tunnel, the curtain falling on a career that was both beautiful and tragic. Critics talked. Fans debated. But those who truly understood him, they saw something deeper. Zidane wasn't a machine. He was human, passionate, emotional, real. And maybe that's why millions loved him even more. Because through his imperfections, he showed his humanity. After retirement, Zidane didn't disappear. He stayed close to the game he loved. And soon, he wrote another chapter of greatness, this time, as a manager. In 2016, when Real Madrid was in crisis, Zidane took charge. Many doubted him. They said he was too calm, too inexperienced. But once again, Zidane let his work speak. In just a few years, he led Madrid to an incredible 3 consecutive Champions League titles, something never done before in modern football. Under his leadership, players trusted him, fans adored him, and the world once again bowed to the name Zidane. He became the rare legend who conquered the game, both as a player and as a coach. His methods were simple: respect, teamwork, and quiet confidence. He never shouted, never blamed. He inspired by example, just as he always did on the field. Zidane's story is one of grace, from the dusty streets of Marseille to the grandest stages of world football. It's about a boy who dreamed, a man who inspired, and a legend who taught us that elegance and humility can walk hand in hand with greatness. Even today, when you see Zidane calm, smiling, and dignified, you feel something. His presence still carries magic. His name still echoes through generations. Kids who never saw him play still watch his highlights in awe. Because true artistry never fades. True class never dies. Zinedine Zidane wasn't just a footballer. He was a storyteller. Every pass, every touch, every goal, it told a story of struggle, hope, and beauty. He represented more than just France or football. He represented the power of dreams, the value of respect, and the belief that no matter where you come from, you can rise above it all. So whenever you feel life getting tough, remember Zizou, the boy who once kicked a ball against a wall, and went on to become the pride of a nation. His journey reminds us that greatness doesn't come from where you start, it comes from how much you believe in your story. And that, dear viewers, is why Zinedine Zidane will forever be remembered as one of the greatest to ever play the beautiful game. Thank you so much for watching this story on Nation of Glory. If you felt inspired, if you enjoyed walking through the life of this football genius, don't forget to hit that like button, share this video with your friends, and most importantly, subscribe to our channel, so you never miss another story that celebrates greatness. This is Nation of Glory, where legends live forever. Until next time, stay inspired, stay strong, and always believe in your dreams. Thank you for watching.